All right, so we found out that the KA24, the engine I bought for Nissan, is actually a huge pile of crap. And yes, I know KAs are usually crappy looking. No one took care of these motors. But this one, the intake valves are basically rusted stuck. The exhaust valves are leaking oil and gummed up, just sitting on the engine stand. And the rest of the motor, it's very obvious that just someone didn't give a crap about this thing. And so that gives me zero confidence in putting time and money into that engine to get it in that car. I went nuts this weekend and basically picked up a whole truck bed worth of KAs. Check it out. So I managed to grab 3 KAs this weekend. And it might sound like that was an easy task, but honestly, they're kind of getting hard to find around here, which is like kind of scary. We got complete engine with the trans, which is dope because we could definitely use a second one of these. We got a complete engine, and then we got a bare long block. Now, you might not be able to tell on quick glance, but honestly, these motors are also giant turds. They are not clean by any means, and they've been touched. I mean, these things are super filthy, probably not that well maintained, but between all 4 of these engines, we should be able to piece together one that's worth putting in that car while we get some time to build one on the side. But let's yank these things out of the truck, finally get a good look at them, and figure out which one we're gonna piece together to be the new heart for Nissan. Three KAs. What do you think, Donald?
I think
this is the most KAs you've ever seen in one spot.
Yeah, it really is. you're mental.
Dude, I have to. It's pathetic. I had to buy 3 of them.
There's something wrong with you.
All right, so check it out. You guys are probably wondering why I bought 3 engines. And realistically, it just kind of worked out that way. I got this motor from a shop in Jersey, and then I got these 2 motors from a subscriber in Virginia who happened to meet me in Jersey, and it all worked out. So, realistically, we gotta play KA roulette here because they all have their ups and downs. But let me tell you the backstory on each engine, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna make you guys pick the engines. That was DJ's idea. I thought that was really smart because I'm going nuts trying to figure out which one to use. Let's break it down. Are you ready, DJ?
I'm ready.
All right, so this one we got from a shop in Jersey. This thing was pulled out of a car about a year and a half ago and then put in a storage container that was clearly not exposed to elements because this thing hasn't really corroded at all. I was told this thing ran great. It was just pulled out of a car because they were doing an SR swap, I believe. Now the only downfall about this is it's so just like stripped apart, which is really not a big deal because we have a bunch of part engines if we decide to. They robbed a bunch of hardware off the timing cover. All the accessories are gone. The thing's just absolutely filthy, but I guess they're all kind of filthy, aren't they?
Pretty dirty.
Pretty dirty.
Grimy.
Choice number 2. This one I was also told was running and driving fine, didn't smoke or anything, but it's another motor that sat for about a year and a half. What I like about it is it has both manifolds on, which means that the heads weren't just exposed to the elements. So the only downfall about this motor is it's very obvious that it's been touched a bunch. Like there's mismatched hardware on everything. Like look on the valve cover. He used a through bolt. Like why did you do that? At one point in its life, everything was spray painted on this motor. Like even the IAC. The dude spray painted it green. What happened in like 2006 that caused everyone to spray paint everything green? Do you remember that era? Just like,
yeah,
like monster green everything.
I don't understand.
I hope that's over. Like, please, if you're I don't want to disrespect you, but just don't paint anything green. It just definitely looks good. Option number 3 is this motor. So this one is completely unknown. The previous owner had it. He said that it ran, but he never saw it ran for himself, and then it basically sat outside for a long time, as you could tell, because everything's corroded on it. Literally from the aluminum on the intake to every single steel bracket. But what looks nice about this engine to me is the fact that it's so untouched. Like you could tell that no one ever worked on this thing. Like, which probably sounds bad, but like this engine, I can't tell if whoever worked on it actually knew what they were doing. But this engine, it's kind of just like fresh. It's a virgin, you know? So it's pretty hard to tell like the actual condition of these engines without physically pulling them apart, pulling the head off, looking at the bottom end, whatever. But we could pull the valve cover off, we could pull the manifolds off, and we could pull a plug and we can look all inside and get a better idea of which one might actually be the best candidate.
Oh, not shit.
It's a lot nicer than that motor. This one's not bad. What's up, B? Come check the goods out.
I was gonna say this one's a lot cleaner than that motor.
Here, let's show them.
Oh wow. Coolant's pretty clean, surprisingly.
There's a little bit of something there.
That's just from sitting.
So no devastating news so far. Only thing that's devastating is the threads are just completely pulled out right here.
Ew.
The valve cover. I know it'll be hard on camera to tell, but I would say this is like 15% nicer.
Yeah, maybe 10%.
Okay.
10, 15.
My fingers, I really want this one to be it. Oh, it's not bad. You can tell oil hasn't gotten up here in a long time. Expecting to see some rust on the cams because I know this engine sat for a while, but
No, I mean, no moisture got in here. It doesn't look like there was ever any water or anything in the valve cover.
there's no pinning.
Yeah. This definitely the cleanest.
This is the cleanest. That's good news. So
You
this,
called it too.
yeah. What is this kid doing? Where did you get a unicycle from?
What? A while ago.
What?
Suck at it.
What? Come on, let's see something nice.
I think I could have done better.
I don't know. Where did that come? Whatever. All right, so the intake manifolds are off. Now we can get an idea about the intake valve. So, hoping for a miracle with this engine, but unfortunately, the true colors shine when the intake comes off. Okay, actually this side, this one looks good. That one, there's quite a bit of rust on the valve, unfortunately. Same here, and then, oh, this one's open. Yeah. Yuck. So that's a little disappointing there. Cylinder 4, my boy. It would probably run fine with the valves like that, but obviously it's not a great feel.
No, I wouldn't.
No, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. So this engine, the valves are actually really, really clean. And honestly, now looking at it, it's very apparent that this engine did get a head gasket done. You could see it, right? Yeah. Which totally explains why it looks like the whole engine was taken apart because, well, it was.
Nah, that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. So honestly, I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. Like, it's cool that it has a new head gasket, but why they do it in the first place, and then did they do it correctly is a big issue because there's some things on here that are a little suspect.
Yeah, it's a big thing to know if they did it like preventatively or because something failed. That's kind of a big deal.
Yeah. So good or bad? I guess we can. You guys can make that decision. And then of course the exposed long block. These things are actually kind of filthy, which makes me concerned because does that mean this thing had a lot of blow by? Because that's not good, because we don't want a smoky motor. Yeah, that's not the best. As you guys can see, once again, they all have their ups and downs. So the last thing we could do on all the motors is a compression test. So this one still has the training stuff on, so let's at least do a compression test on this motor.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right, so cold, I'm hoping anything above 140 I'll be happy with. And then as long as it's consistent.
That's all we want. Here we go. We got a gunner.
What's it at?
140.
146.
Was it did it stop? Was it going higher?
No, you can keep going.
All
Crank
right, tell me when it stops.
Yep.
Stop. Yeah, it's done.
What is it?
148. 6. Same.
The same?
Same.
Good.
46.
Thank God.
All right, 2 out of 4 so far. We're looking good.
Usually get worse as they go back.
All right, let's see.
All right, you guys ready?
We're ready.
God damn it.
Uh-oh.
I knew it. I knew it.
90.
Don't tell.
It's not 90.
Should we tell him?
Is it really 90?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I felt it.
Click. We'll try it again.
Okay, go ahead.
Make sure it's tight.
It's when reality hits.
All right, let the air out of it. Click the button. All right. Okay. Let's just assume that's a fluke. You ready?
Round 2. It's better. It's better. 92.5.
Is it really only 92?
It's 92.
Things are looking so good.
Ah. All right. Well, let's see if it's.
Okay.
Let's see what number 4 is. All right. Well, this one's not getting my vote.
I think this one's gonna be worse. These two are great. These matched. These two matched as well.
90 psi.
It was looking so good, but we'll give it another go. Just for good measures.
Yeah, maybe something.
Really?
Yeah, it's better, but it's still poop.
Wow. That's
Not good.
It's upsetting.
What were you thinking?
This 149, 146. I was hoping it'd be good. Well, that sucks. We should take the trans flywheel and
Put it
starter
on.
out and put it on that motor and check compression on that motor.
I agree.
Well, it looks like this guy doesn't like oil changes. Man, that's the shittiest oil I've seen in a long time.
Let me see.
I haven't seen that bad oil since my Saturn.
We don't know what happened to that.
Guesses?
Guesses.
I don't
yes.
want to play that game anymore.
Okay,
I'm
we
so
don't have
over
to
that
play
game.
it anymore.
Oh my God.
This is a strong boy.
210.
Okay, there's probably oil in the cylinder, but whatever.
Keep going.
Come on, yeah.
Keep going. 155.
Okay, the starter's hurting.
That's smoking.
155? Okay. You cross-fed that?
No.
It's like
I should have told you that.
192.
Yeah, like 190 change.
Okay, there's fluid in that cylinder too. Those numbers are all over the fucking place, dude. All right, so we have low compression, horribly maintained, and questionable at best.
Mine could still. Mine has hope.
What, this one?
Yeah. It doesn't look like it has hope, but.
Do we compression test it?
Why not?
You ready? Oh, the belts. Oh, there you go. Cool. Not seized. Okay. Okay. Is the motor lock up?
It's a good question.
The motor might have locked up. We can check that real quick. Motor locked up.
Oh no. You got like one crank.
Not even.
didn't even crank.
It didn't even crank. No, it just locked up instantly. See, this one is a no-go.
So DJ's choice is a no-go.
I was hoping this thing would be like the underdog, you know?
Yeah, I thought this
Yeah.
was gonna be the rough one on the outside.
Yeah, exactly. Is it locked? Come on. Free up, bitch.
Spray a little something on
You
you.
got that WD-40? I'll free her up.
Let me get it.
Oh my god. Dude, it's just stuck. What the fuck? Yo, I honestly have no idea why this thing locked up.
Makes no sense.
That makes, yeah, you can't visibly see anything. I checked to make sure the flywheel wasn't caught up on anything. I checked the valves, make sure they weren't hitting a piston. And there's nothing up front that's like binding the crank pulley. So realistically, I have no idea why this thing, because it moves like a little bit. Because the rear valves weren't open before. So that's crazy. Maybe there was just a lot of rust in that cylinder. Just maybe the rings just
Caught up.
I know what motor we're using. What a waste, dude.
I don't know.
That sucks so much. It's making that motor look pretty damn good, isn't
Yeah,
it?
right.
This thing looks nice compared to these
So
motors.
it's a little smoke is sounding good right now.
It was
like-
one of those things where I need them real quick, and they're just like, "Oh no, they're good," and I'm like, and that kid drove real far, so it's one of those moments where it's just like,
Spur of the moment, like.
yeah, it's like I need them tomorrow. And then the problem is like I usually like check everything over 700 times, but sometimes you're in a rush and you just gotta trust people, and I got bamboozled. Darn. Well, at least we got another transmission and a usable starter, so that's cool. So, man, today sucked, but yeah, I'll have a better plan for us tomorrow. So, I'm gonna go get ramen and hopefully feel better about this whole situation. So, like, comment, subscribe, stay tuned for more content. Mike?
Have an awesome night, guys.
I'm cold-hearted and broke, I cold-started and choke. I grow part with my soul, the vote harder to grow. I know why, hey, I know why, hey, yeah. I'm cold-hearted and broke, I cold-started and choke. I grow part with my soul, the vote harder to grow. I know.